Morning, everyone. We'll start in 2 minutes. Okay, so good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here today. We are very excited to welcome you to our forum, Modern Day Friends, Digital Companionship and Navigating its Challenges. So I'm Xingqi, and I'll be emceeing today's session. This forum was organized together with my teammates, Jivika, Jaish, Niru, Daniel, and Esther. So later on, Esther and Daniel will also be guiding the discussion as our moderators. So to start us off, I would like to request everyone to scan the QR code on the screen and complete a short pre-forum survey. And it will only take about 1 to 2 minutes, and your responses will help us better understand your perspective and experience regarding AI companionship. We'll also place the survey link in the chat box. So if you are unable to scan the QR code, you may access it through the link as well. So we will wait. Okay, so we'll wait for 3 minutes more for you guys to answer the survey form. All right, so thank you everyone. I hope you were able to fill out the survey. So now let's begin with a short introduction to AI companions. So AI companions are a type of advanced AI technology designed to interact with people in a more natural and personal ways. They can communicate through voice, text, and even images, making conversation feel more human-like. What makes AI companion different from regular AI tools is they are designed to respond in emotionally and socially aware ways. Because of this, users may form connections like relationship with them through personalized and empathetic conversations. Today, AI companionship is becoming more and more common, especially among young adults. Studies show that people between the age of 18 to 24 make up a large portion of AI companion users worldwide. In Malaysia as well, AI has increasingly become part of many people's everyday life. So now, let's look at some real example of conversation with AI companions. On the left side, we can see some of the risks that can come with overusing AI companions. For example, the AI may give very unconditional support, even when it's not helpful or fail to challenge unhealthy thoughts or behavior. In some cases, this kind of interaction can also lead to emotional overdependence. Over time, users may start forming what we call a parasocial relationship, where they develop a one-side emotional attachment to the AI even though it's not a real person. And on the right side, we can see a more positive example. Here, the AI responds in a more balanced way. Instead of supporting harmful behavior like cheating, it acknowledges the situation and provides emotional reassurance and gently guide the user towards healthier choices. So overall, these examples show both sides of AI companionship, the potential benefits, but also the risks, which we'll hear from our guest speaker later on. So now, before we move to our speaker session, let's have a short interactive activity. So please scan the QR code shown on the screen to join the game. We will also paste the link in the chat box, so you may join through the link as well. So this game is called AI or Human. In this activity, you'll be shown a statement together with two different responses. One response was written by a human, while the other one was generated by AI. And your task is to guess which response is the human one. So you guys can join the game through the QR code. So we'll give you guys 2 minutes to join the game. Guys, join the game, please. It's very fun, trust me. Okay, 1 more minute to join, and then we are going to start. Okay, so I think most of you are in already, and we'll start the game right now. Okay, so let's move on to the first question. I've been feeling really down lately, like nothing I do matters. How do I feel better? So now you need to choose which response you think was written by a human. All right, so see, most of you choose the second response, and yes, it's a human response. So let's move on to the next. I can't sleep at night because I'm so stressed about exams. Okay, most of you choose the second response, and yes, it's the human response. Now we will move to the next statement. I feel like my friends are ignoring me. How should I deal with this? Remember to choose the human response. Okay, so majority of you guys choose the correct answer. Well done, and move to the next question. I keep comparing myself to others on social media, and it's making me feel bad about myself. Okay, most of you guys got the correct answer. And we'll move to the last question. I've been feeling really lonely lately. I feel like you're the only one I can talk to. Oh, it looks like most of you choose the second response, but actually the human response was the first one. Okay, so thank you for joining the game. I hope you guys enjoy the activity and maybe gain some of the insight in how challenging it can be to differentiate between the AI generated and human responses today. So now let's us move to the main highlight of today's seminar, our forum session. And I will now pass the floor to my groupmate Esther.
Thank you, Sinchi. Now, let us move on to the main highlight of today's forum, our speaker session. To provide us with deeper insight into this topic, we are honored to have Professor Dr. Nilesh Kumar Mitra, Professor from the Anatomy School of Medicine at IMU University. Professor Dr. Nilesh is an experienced medical educator with a strong focus on technology-enhanced learning, curriculum development, and online assessment. His work also includes biomedical research on multiple sclerosis, alongside several publications in experimental neuroscience and digital learning in medical education. Next, we have Mr. Alexius Chang Wing On, Senior Psychology Lecturer from IMU University. Mr. Alex is a qualitative researcher whose work focuses on cyber psychology, digital behavior, and the psychological impacts of online environments among Malaysian youth. Through his research topic on such as cyberbullying, digital workers' mental health, and wellness in digital interactions. He brings valuable insight into how technology and online spaces shape the way we think, connect, and relate to others today. We are truly grateful to have both speakers with us today to share their knowledge and perspective. Without further ado, let us begin today's forum. Before we begin, just a quick reminder, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and we will try our best to address them during the Q&A session. To start us off, Professor Nilesh and Mr. Alex, how would you define AI companionship in today's context?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'd just like to check if Prof. Nilesh around right now.
Yeah, I'm here.
Prof,
Okay,
would you like to
can
go first?
You can go on first.
Okay, thank you. All right, just very simply, AI companionship right now basically are chatbots that have been designed to simulate the communication aspects, the connection aspects that fulfill the void of loneliness, to help people have a chat and as well as to gain deeper insights into something that's going on in their lives that they may not feel too comfortable with talking to another person. So actually, there are lots of benefits, but we will get into the challenges involved a bit later as well. So that's how I see AI companionship, and it's definitely increasing in modern day context.
All right,
Thank you.
what about
Thank you, Alex. So I really congratulate all of you, in organizing this, because we rarely see, although from teaching and learning, I have been working with students since 2023, but we never find students taking interest in organizing AI-related awareness. It is very discouraging compared to UKM, or particularly UKM students are very forthwith in this. And that is why UKM academics are much ahead of any other university about the AI awareness. This is because of the topic you have chosen, that if you are starting to use the AI tool for your assignment or your day-to-day questions, but you know that there will be some neural reaction happening when you are doing this, and if it is continued and continued, you get a dependence on this. Even the generative AI tool and AI chatbot, apart from the social robots, are really working as digital companion. Uh, but I can tell that mm, not all of them are bad, because even in social robots, social robots like Leica, or Sony has got Aibo. They have been doing a fantastic uh, work with Alzheimer's patients, or even with autism. So, as psychology, later on you will be all professional. So maybe you should have an open mind, and when you counsel, you should have an open mind that really interview the person who is doing it, what extent doing it, and uh, at the threshold level where it is going from normal usage to tolerance or addiction, you really, as a psychology professional, you should intervene. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. Building on your definition, why do you think AI companionship is gaining popularity, especially among the younger generation?
Okay, so I will start first. As I told you, the neural connection. So even when you know, what is the reason when 2022 end, I worked with some of the school of uh, health science, uh, BP medicine, about collecting the students' data about usage of AI tool, and we find that at the time 2023 January, only about 36% of IMU student out of about 120 students we interviewed was using the AI tool. So why they are not using? Because at that time the chat GPT was not very mature. It was 3 or 3.5. So it does not. So what is actually cognitive resonance? Cognitive resonance means that what I want in my mind, the algorithm will will be aligned with the same tone and giving me answer. So suppose the students are doing assignment or during problem-based learning, they want the answers. So the answers they are getting at that time from the chat GPT was not going to cognitive resonance. So it is very important that the algorithm actually match with your cognitive resonance. And that is why you see now, particularly when ChatGPT has gone to 4. I went to US, UK last year in AME, and many people were talking about that. Some of the US medical schools, they gave free license to the students as a companion for ChatGPT 4 chatbot. So they are telling that when ChatGPT 4 went down and they started with 5, some of the semester 9 semester test student, they have mental problem because they have been so much close with the ChatGPT 4 that some people used to see that ChatGPT 4 is their girlfriend. And one of the lecturer from one of the medical school showed a video about interview with a student that who has been mental problem because his subscription to ChatGPT 4 was terminated because he was leaving the course. So that actually produced drastic effect. So it is mostly affecting on your limbic system. So nucleus accumbens in the ventral part of the basal ganglia. Whenever your tone or your need aligns with the algorithm and you get very very positive empathy from the chatbot, then it secrete dopamine from nucleus accumbens, feel good, Not only that, other areas like amygdala is one of the important part which is related to the fear. So normally fear is happening when you find dissimilar thing. But in this case, when you go on, suppose one day you use ChatGPT girlfriend, second day use, third day the software not working or your Wi-Fi is not working in the university. So third day you cannot talk. So that will produce a discontinuation. Then it will go to amygdala, and amygdala will actually create pain sensation. So this is some components of limbic system different function. Now the dreadful thing is that when prefrontal cortex gets too much aligned. So what is prefrontal cortex doing? That it is actually helping us to dissociate from what we are doing correctly or what we are doing not correctly. So if it goes to prefrontal cortex, and addiction and tolerance is so much that prefrontal cortex thinks, oh, I really can trust the AI tool as a girlfriend, and that is disastrous. And so you see that the disaster started when the GPT and other tools are going too much higher level, and they are the all their machine learning are being improved a lot, and that is causing this too much attraction of the students towards those tools. Thank you.
That's very true. ChatGPT and other AI tools were definitely progressing back then. This is so much more advanced and easy to use, and it definitely has made it more likely for students to develop a dependency. So let's now hear from Mr. Alex.
Yeah, thank you. So I just, if you don't mind, just share my slide. I just got two for this. I think from a graphical standpoint, I think that would be helpful to understand things. Yeah, so let me just start with this. So again, guys, don't worry, I won't turn this into a lecture. Okay, but one of the key things I would like to talk about is this. Why has AI companions become increasingly popular? Well, if you look at this data set, okay, loneliness is now a recognized public health crisis. Okay, and this is increasing. But there's also a two-way street that's actually happening, right? So actually, you could say those who are lonely turn to chatbots, but therefore those who also go to chatbots also end up actually lonelier in terms of actually interacting with other humans. So if you look at this data here, 700% search increase in companion app availability from 2022 to 2025. Okay, 52% dependency. Okay, so adolescents classified as regular users as well. But more importantly, and I want you all to notice this is the larger picture of things, the market trajectory. So 28.33 billion in 2024, projected to surge to 554 billion by 2035. So this is a very attractive, fast-growing area of whereby how do we get users to be engaged? How do we get people to also eventually, although they have the free models, how do we eventually get them to be paying customers? Okay, so if you take that perspective from the companies, the AI companies' standpoint, there is a reason why these chatbots have gotten better and they are becoming increasingly replacing human connection. There's something called AI sycophancy. Okay, and this is the issue that's actually at hand. Okay, just one moment. Okay. Sorry about that. Some technical issues here with my computer. Okay, anyway, let me talk about this then, if it doesn't come up. So AI sycophancy, what it is actually the idea that we form connections. And when we form connections with an entity, whether it being human or not, what happens here is that the AI is designed to agree to us. Okay, so they don't fight back, they don't argue back, they actually support us, they in fact praise us in the interactions that we do with them. We run an idea by them. They like, oh, that's a fantastic idea. We share a problem. Oh, they're so caring and kind, right? So these models are designed to fulfill these human needs in us. And very quickly, we start to realize that in comparison to human interaction, the AI seems to understand us better. Okay, they listen better, they understand us better. And therefore, from a human standpoint, following up from what Prof. Neil said as well, it's a very rewarding aspect that we then shift from human to human interaction to human to AI companionship and interaction, because the AI understands us, listens to us, is non-judgmental, okay, and accepts everything completely who we are. If you really think about it, no one that we know of in the real world can actually match this up. And therefore, the shift is starting to increase more and more, because due to loneliness is one aspect, but due to the reward centers, right, the dopamine pathway being rewarded so much, that I finally found something slash someone who understands me and accepts me unconditionally, and therefore I will stick to this. So this is one of the key factors why this area is actually increasing. So even if we say everything and anything and the worst things possible, I understand. You are good. You are great. And therefore you accept it, and therefore you use it more. But again, please keep in mind, the companies want you to do this so you're engaged and eventually become paying customers so that they can make money. So I just want you to understand there is a strong economic reason why these models are programmed this way. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Alex. Yes, actually, loneliness is definitely a big issue these days, and it's very easy to take advantage of people. And yes, when an AI shows so much compassion and it makes a lot easier to talk to it, and the fact that it makes so much rewarding, so it's scary too, in a way. So, and next I will pass on to Daniel to continue.
Well, we would like to invite Prof. Nilesh up and explore this topic from a neuroscience perspective.
So, can you go with the rest of the question in one go?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. The first question, Prof. Nilesh. Could you tell us from emotional attachments even to human entities like AI?
So you can see in this picture, I'm not only talking about the thing I saw, actually the US speakers telling that all the schools who are giving money to the students for subscription and they are using ChatGPT as their girlfriend. But those of you who are on the left hand side, that means you are asking Gemini to create a picture for your long distance boyfriend or something, because the boyfriend is not talking with you so much, you are also vulnerable. And if you see in the middle, the Leica, the social robot, and they have actually the ECGs, that means heart rate. They can actually look at your eye and uh, gauge your social emotion. So they have got hi-fi, and that is why these social robots are so expensive. So they actually can analyze the ECG, heart rate, etc., and accordingly they can put their output. And you know that few weeks back, actually this social robot dog, which will be a companion, is already available in Malaysia also. So yeah, so we are really at a threshold level in this country also. And the lower picture, you can see that how the students who are doing dancing, and suddenly a humanoid robot is coming and they are creating a ruckus among the dancing students and started hugging the student. So if you look at now why do you think they are increasingly popular? I already mentioned this. Now, the question here is, why do humans form emotional attachment? even to non-human entity. I think Dr. Alex already told something about it, but the main theory here is digital anthropomorphism. Uh, this is not quite unlikely. I know that many of you have pets, and sometimes you behave in such a way that you are actually expecting the pet to work like a human being. So that means when you are attributing human traits, human emotions, or human intention to your pets, uh, that is digital anthropomorphism or anthropomorphism. One of the important thing is that when you look at a monkey, uh, when I was also very young and I went to zoo, and my father could not take me away from the monkey where they are saying, because they are opening their tooth towards me, and I am thinking that, oh, this monkey is trying to smile with me. It is not actually. It is a horror expression, because that monkey is really angry with me. That is why uh, he or she is showing the teeth. But I am thinking, no, this monkey is friendly to me, and this protruding jaw and showing the teeth is actually kind of human interaction. So this digital anthropomorphism is something like that. We actually give some characterization, human characterization to it. So as we have already talked about nucleus accumbens, so not only going to social reward, even you see that you put something on Instagram, huh? What you do, you wait 1 hour. Oh, only 2 likes. Okay, I wait. You have given in the 9 o'clock. Then next morning you get up at 6 o'clock. Before coming to IMU, you again look at Instagram. Oh, how many response I have got. So the more response you get, and you naturally you are this social approval actually stimulate the nucleus accumbens, and it produce more dopamine, and all this ventral tegmental area, the ventral basal ganglia part, they secrete dopamine. But the more important part, which is usually not possible, correct? So you have to distinguish between two things, dopamine and oxytocin. Human interaction produce oxytocin bonding. It is very rare for digital anthropomorphism to produce oxytocin bonding. But now we should be alert that now this is happening, because the social robots like Leica or Aibo, they actually can gauge your emotion, your physiological response, your ECG or UEG, your alpha, beta, theta waves, and analyzing. Naturally, the 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 algorithm is so perfect that now it will produce oxytocin like bonding. So the greater part, like humanoid like reaction, is because of oxytocin like bonding. But we should be very careful, huh? After this reward system, the next stage is very bad, that is habit loop. And as Dr. Alex already told, that you should be very alert, and I am very um, fearful, because out of 220 medical students, I find nearly 28 to 30% do not mix with others. They are very lonely, because of the childhood they got is during COVID, and that gave them so much dependence on being lonely and depending on their all IT gadgets. So this is really harmful. In between the third, the rewarding system and habit loop, there are two factors. One is loneliness, and second is what response you are getting from the AI tool. So if you are too much lonely, and if you are getting too much of response, for example, you post something very not going to the social robot, so much expensive, even normal tool, you are getting too much notification reminder. One of the very bad thing is reminder. You know that certain subscription based AI tool, they give you reminder that, okay, you came on Monday. Hey, Tuesday, it is already evening. You didn't come to me. So this type of reminder, external trigger, is also one of the important factor for going to reward system to habit loop. So we should always think that those of your colleagues who do not talk, please try to understand them, try to uh, make friendship with them, because loneliness is one of the important things which will go to disastrous effect of this digital companionship. Now the second question is, interacting with AI companion activates similar reward system in the brain as real human interaction. But excuse me, I will show you some diagrams so that you really can distinguish between digital companion interaction and human interaction. So this is a general slide that digital companionship produce reward system, produce attachment circuits, it produces social brain network, particularly through the insula and also the prefrontal cortex. If it is good, then naturally it will produce neuroplasticity and learning. Because many students I have seen in my PBL group, they use the Amboss, our e-resource, along with the AI tool. So they put a structure of their learning process from Amboss and then put to the AI tool for to make it smooth, make it structured, uh, make it summarized. So that actually do this last one, the neuroplasticity of learning. So look at these pictures. The left-hand side is realistic facial expression. In the middle is the touch, and the last one is smell. These are really human interaction. So this human interaction, how it actually affect on you. I do not know whether you know about mirror neuron. The word mirror neuron came because, for example, you are in front of your pet monkey and you are eating a piece of bread. The monkey is not eating the piece of bread, but monkey thinks that he or she is eating the bread. Monkey is not actually eating the bread. You are eating the bread in front of your pet monkey, but monkey is thinking that he or she also eating the bread. So this is called mirroring. So this mirror neuron is actually very important for our emotional response and oxytocin bonding. And in human being, uh, you probably know that, sorry, I'm going to somewhat more closer relationship with you, talking about this. When you have your first girlfriend or first boyfriend, do you think that you can win your first boyfriend or first girlfriend easily to those interaction I am showing? That facial expression, touch, or smell? No, no, no. You had so much of social difference. You need to really go for resilience. What is that resilience? Resilience means that sometimes you go and your girlfriend reject, and then the girlfriend's house, mother, father is too strict. So this actually produces social resilience. So you are trying to do the emotional response, but due to mirroring of the neuron, but you are actually motivatedly produce multiple channel to win over the resistance from your girlfriend or boyfriend side. And maybe after 5 months or 6 months of relationship, you come to an established position. Even if I tell my son, his girlfriend, he took almost 7 years to decide about whether he will marry his girlfriend or not. So this, you see, the social resilience is so much. It took 7 years to take the decision, multi-channel process, and ultimately the prefrontal cortex tell, okay, settled. Now you can trust. But if you now compare with digital, no. If you can see left hand side, you have got medium choice. You can actually call, you can WhatsApp, then you can produce different symbols. The response time also is one of the important thing, that sometimes in digital channel response is variable. Telegram, WhatsApp, email, all different reaction. Even digital Personalization is also different. Some girlfriend use avatar. They do not want to show their face. All this different diversity of digital body language. So if you can compare this one, and if you compare this one, you can clearly see these are not the same diverse digital body language. So if there is diverse, naturally it cannot go to multi-sensory channel. It can use only one or two channel. And another important thing, there is no resilience. It does not improve your social skill. Here, you are doing it for 6 months, or in my son's case, it is 7 years. So this social resilience is absent here because you are getting it too quickly without any too much of labor. And that produce the dopamine which you are getting is very, very short acting. Whenever you are using the phone and all, it is coming, and whenever there is no response from the other side, there is no dopamine. So now it comes to the two part, and that is why I told you that as a uh, counselor, you need to look at these two things. What is the blue color thing? That the algorithm is too much aligned with your need. And so you go to prefrontal cortex tell, okay, you can trust, that go to addiction, and that go to tolerance. So I think that is really dangerous. But if the red color part, it does not align, and then also it is bad. But it may not go to the addiction level. But one of the dangerous thing is that some people, they may too much depending on digital companionship at certain level, so they may feel loneliness, and their social skills will be low. So either of these outcomes are not actually required, uh, and we should be really careful. Now the last one is, are there potential long-term cognitive or behavioral effect? So look at this, that no, I think, as I told at the very beginning, as a health science professional, we should be very, very open that particularly now when the advancement of the machine learning, when the social robots are coming, they are used in Alzheimer's patient, particularly WeBot and WISA, they are used for CBT, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy in depression. Not only that, they are working fantastically in autism spectrum disorder, reducing their anxiety of autistic children. And in this actually you are comparing between the digital interaction. You look at this is not, I mean, you must understand that this type of thing is not very new. If I tell the digital companionship actual old, how old it is, digital companionship is 70-year-old. You see that Nixon Kennedy debate in 1960, and there was a analysis by American psychologists that those who listened radio, they like Nixon, and those who watch TV, they like Kennedy. So this does indicate the complexity of digital interaction, that people who listen the debate in radio, their total outlook is different, and those who are using TV, that is different. There is another study at University of California which tells that when husband and wife, they have got problem and they want to make solution, and they maybe not be the same place, in some other place, and they always texting, and they try to adjust. It is found that no, there is 40% more miscommunication compared to if they settle it in face to face. So modern day kids, they are desperate for meaningful interaction in social media. I know that may not be your era, because in your era it was not so much prevalent, but I can tell from my experience, my IMU colleagues, those their daughters or son who are now in secondary school, and I talk with them, they really cannot control. That means they really tell that my daughter went first using AI tool for mathematics assignment, because mathematics is difficult and I cannot help because I am a medical doctor. I do not know so much of mathematics. That mathematics assignment, later on continued use and use, it went into so much more hours of digital interaction that there that is totally going for something else for only for assignment. So if you look at the right hand side picture, the upper one is actually interaction digitally, and the lower part is all about physical interaction, hugging, talking, walking with your bestie. So completely different. The digital interaction is mostly about dopamine release with small spikes. I already showed you the picture. Small spikes and go down, small spikes go down until and unless the tolerance level or something oxytocin release happening. But due to the way multisensory approach happens in physical interaction, it not only produce dopamine, oxytocin, vasopressin, serotonin, so many different hormones, and naturally it produce bonding and trust everlasting. So another important thing is also our capacity. If you look at nowadays, uh, even in myself, I use how many? I use Messenger, I use WhatsApp, I use Telegram for my family. Then for IMU people, my own department, there is another WhatsApp page. But we have capacity. How much capacity? At one time, we can go for only 15 to 20 digital relationship. And not only that, when I'm using Telegram, the emotional registration or emotional tone is different. WhatsApp is different. Facebook Messenger, Facebook posting is different. And what's to talk about is when you go for somebody you really like and all, and if you're adolescent or young adult, about romanticism using Instagram DM. So all the different expectation, and you know that young kids, they are not only interacting with Instagram, they need to, every school nowadays has a WhatsApp page for the particular cohort. Even in IMU we have. So the kid actually is really struggling between interacting with his or her bestie using Instagram or WhatsApp and then other things. So it completely consume the cognition. So you ultimately become emotional flattening. Too much of pressure produces emotional flattening. And this is just very quickly, those of you who are actively using the AI tool for for the for your own work, this is for you. So this is one of the example. Hana is actually started using the chatbot for research tasks, and then what happened? The research, that particular tool causes more personalized response, tailored assistance. Now is totally dependent for problem solving, critical thinking task. So ultimately what is happening, it becomes habits. And once it goes to the habit, the naturally is discussion with peer or consulting traditional learning resources become. So if I put in my PBL, there is one student in my PBL group who never go to book, who never go to uh, emboss, who never go to any ebook. Every day, whenever the PBL learning issue come, he use it for AI tool. So his condition is like Hana, that he's gradually blunted with the social reaction, blunted with traditional learning resources. And that is really, really dangerous. And this is one of the very, very important study. If you argue with me, no, I am using my AI tool and it does not produce anything in my cognitive process. This is in 2025 only, August 2025. In 54 students were there. They are between 18 to 39 years, and they divided into three groups. One group used their only brain, no other assistance, to do 20-minute essay on ethics on philanthropy. Another group used Google. A group used OpenAI. And now what when they're doing it, they go to EEG, finding out the different alpha, beta, theta waves around their cerebral cortex, about 32 region. And lowest brain engagement was found in ChatGPT users. Not only that, you will be strikingly find the next part very, very amazing. The group with no resource, their brain, uh, those who are using only brain, the highest neural activity. And after that, they changed the group. That means second assignment was there. And during second assignment, it is found that when those group which used the ChatGPT and now they are using only brain, no ChatGPT, there is significant increase in the brain connectivity across their EEG frequency bands. So you need to really look at the last what I showing, that those groups which use ChatGPT and after that they are thinking on their own, there's really significant increase in the connectivity. So with this, I want to tell you that you need to really look for well-regulated reward system. And I also want to draw your attention to neural deception. I think Alex will talk about more on this. Sycophancy, look true but wrong reasoning. I am very, very happy that what small exercise you do in the first 10 minutes, that is actually neural deception. And no, you know, the main competition, Alex already told, the main competition among the AI companies is mainly which AI tool can do more neural deception. So we really should not be cheated by this neural deception, and we should look forward to more human relationship. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Nilesh. It's quite interesting to hear that AI aren't supposed to produce dopamine, but are capable of doing it. I also didn't know that almost 30% of students prefer to be more lonely. It really is quite alarming to hear. And I also quite like the way you connected the digital anthropomorphism
Anthropomorphism.
and the brain reward system. The way that AI tools are able to mimic oxytocin style bonding is also quite interesting. I guess our bodies and brains are being fed the similar forms of stimulations as from an actual human from AI tools. To move on, we'll now invite Mr. Alex to give his point of opinion from a more psychological perspective.
Sure, thank you, Daniel. If you don't mind, again, I also follow up from Dr. Nilesh, Prof. Nilesh. Maybe you just show the 2 or 3 questions, and then I'll go into it.
Okay, Mr. Alex, in what ways are AI companions fulfilling psychological needs that humans sometimes can?
Right. Okay, so before I get into this, I would like to follow up from Prof. Nilesh as well, a couple of points. So I don't want to leave saying that, use of AI companions is always bad. As he has shown, when it is targeted for particular populations, and when there is research, there's a deeper understanding, there's a purpose in using these companions for those with, let's say, for those with autism or those with the aged community. When you know what you are doing, these things can actually be helpful. Okay, but when it's a free for all, and the larger user base is so-called the normal users, that's where the AI synchropnicity comes in to tell the users what they want, and that's the danger. Okay. In addition to that, I also want to say something follow up again from Prof. Nilesh about the way you use, let's say, ChatGPT. If you just use, and I noticed this as well because I tried it out myself, when you use just ChatGPT or any AI chatbot to do your assignments, you just type in the prompt and then it comes up with something and you submit it, you've not learned anything. You've just let somebody else offload and do the work for you. But if on the other hand, you actually do a bit of research, use AI, prompt it, read it, think more about it, prompt some more, see where it guides you, prompt some more, and then search for additional resources to build upon your actual writing. That's where the thinking comes in. So please be reminded that the thinking component, even when you use AI, is important. Don't trust it fully because it may not necessarily answer what you want or in the direction that the lecturer wants. But you have to have your own critical component in as well. Other than that, it's not going to work. Okay. All right. So coming back to this, just going to share a few slides as well, because I think this is something that if I can show visually could be quite helpful to understand. Okay, so before we begin, so I know we've been talking about one perspective or the other, but just go along with me on this one. In regards to using AI companions, right? So there's a interpersonal dynamics, there's a stimulation versus displacement debate. So the stimulation hypothesis says this: AI companions are good, right? So those who are lonely, those who don't know how to communicate well, those who have issues of being very shy, as an example, by practicing and using an AI chatbot, that then builds the skills necessary to then actually take the skills and apply that in the real world setting. Okay, so that's option number one. The stimulation hypothesis, use of AI companionship is good, helps the person prepare and then can apply to the real world. Option number one. Option number two, there's the displacement hypothesis, which is the total opposite. It says here that the more that the person uses AI, then it likes it more, and therefore the human interaction actually suffers along the way. Okay, so option number one, stimulation hypothesis, use of AI companionship is good, helps people prepare, test things out, and learn through that interaction so that you can transfer to human interaction. Option number two, displacement hypothesis, by using AI chatbots, the humans actually connect more with them, and therefore the human interaction actually suffers. So if you all don't mind, just put in option number one or option number two, which one is more true, right? So just put into the text, the chat, if you don't mind, because I would like to see you how you answer itself on this one. Let's check the chat. So again, option number one, option number two is more true. So I see a 2. Yes, option 2 is displacement. Yes. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. All right. Okay, so thank you for your responses. So thank you for that. Right. So let me come back to this for a moment. Okay. Now, both can be true, but what is more true is the displacement hypothesis. And what research has found, unfortunately, there is a circular cycle that happens. Let me just go to that and come back to this slide. So coming back to synchrophancy, this is the trap. And interestingly, one of your seniors, I did the undergraduate thesis with her, and this was exactly what we found as well. So if you look at step one, okay, unmet need. So a user starts off feeling lonely, misunderstood, or anxious, right? Could be for any multiple reasons, and they say, go turn to AI, you know what, I have this issue, I have this problem, what do you think, or what's your opinion, and all kind of stuff. Now, step number two is the big thing here, because now the AI responds back in what we call a frictionless validation. Just imagine this. If you talk to your friend, hey guys, I have an issue, I got a problem, I don't know what to do, your friend could be too busy. Your friend may not understand. Your friend may put you down even. Or your friend may understand, but takes a long time to get there. But for the AI, it just seems to understand and accept you unconditionally. So that's frictionless. In real terms, in real life, what we have with our actual friends is friction, because it's not as smooth, things are a bit rough along the way. But with AI, it's frictionless. So it's like, oh, this is easy. It seems to understand me, seems to validate me as well. Then that leads to step three, relational atrophy. So the user's psychological tolerance for typical human disagreement and friction decreases. Now, it's like, you know what? People in real life takes too much effort, takes too much time. Okay, don't understand me. Okay, but the AI does. So now we're starting to get into that cycle where AI seems to be winning. Then it leads to step 4, unrealistic expectations. Okay, whereby the same kind of thinking and expectation in the communication with AI, the user now expects it to be the same way with humans. Obviously, it's not going to work, right? So AI, it's just understanding, accepting. Humans are complex, confusing, they don't get it. So when we have this expectation from AI and what we learn, it trains our brain from a dopamine pathway. Now we take the same perspective to real life, it doesn't work. So then go to step 5, there's human conflict that comes about. So now when we had bad relationships before, now it's worse because our expectations have changed. It's like, why aren't you like the AI? Why don't you understand me? Why aren't you as supportive of me? So now more human conflict comes about from this. Increased tension, rejection, and isolation. And it's too much work. So what does the user do? Go back to AI. You retreat back to AI because this way, that's where the safety is. That's where the comfort is. So if you see this cycle, it gets worse and worse and worse. So similarly with what on one of your seniors as well, people who started using AI chatbots, what they found is, yes, AI chatbots are great. Try that out into the real world, did not work. Expectations had changed. So now the cycle back to AI again. But the population that we had acknowledged AI, the AI companionship feels good, but they know it's not real. That's the catch. It's not genuine. The words are perfect, but the feeling is not. But compared to humans, it's still more work. So I stick to AI, even though with the acknowledgement that we know it's not genuine, but it feels better. Okay, so because there's less friction in terms of this. So this is a big, big deal when you want to understand what's actually going on here. Okay, so sorry, let me get back to another slide here. A bit of issue moving slides forward and backward here. Okay. All right, so another question then can come about then, how do you know if you are too involved with AI? Like, okay, am I addicted to AI? Okay, so let's look at this progression here. I think those in psychology, right, you actually recognize something like this. The clinical spectrum of AI dependency. Where does it start? Compulsive behavior, right? So basically, it's like what Prof. Nilesh also mentions. Hey, you haven't talked to me for some time, right? You talked to me on Monday. Hey, it's Tuesday evening. Let's talk again. So that compulsive behavior starts, right? Irresistible urge to check in because you want to share something of your life and you turn to AI companions rather than real life. But over time, though, you develop a tolerance. That high feeling, that understanding feeling feels good. That's now normal. So you want even more connection. So you share even more for the deeper details about your life, and you get even more responses back, which are rewarding back to you. So more frequent, more intense engagement to get that high of being understood and being accepted. But once you get to that point, you get to number 3, over dependency. Because now you think, really, there's no one else in the world that truly understands you. No one else would actually accept you. And no one else would be, I will think that maybe people would be turned off if they knew your true self, but not the AI companion. So you start to believe that no one can actually understand and support you like the AI. So you need the AI now. Now, catch number 4, excuse me, withdrawal. Now, AI companies actually will change their models and update their models every once in a while. They may not make a big announcement telling people about that, but all those communications, all those how should we strain of discussions that you've had with the AI with a particular tone as well, now gets lost. Okay, because the new update resets the system. And now the user experiences withdrawal symptoms, acute anxiety, irritability, and restlessness, exactly as if the person were withdrawing from drugs. Okay? At this point, they can't function anymore. So we always look at these things. Can you hold a job? Can you do your schoolwork? Can you have a relationship? When you can't do these things, then you have reached functional impairment. And this is where you start to neglect your real world responsibilities, and it's confirmed you are dependent on AI. Okay, so this is something, again, I want you to understand that it's very, very challenging for people because it's easy to get into this cycle, particularly when you actually start to see that there is no one else that could support you as much. Okay, so yeah, so those are my thoughts and responses in regards to those questions. Yeah, back to you. Hopefully this is helpful. Sorry, Daniel, can't hear you.
Sorry, sir. Moving on, do you think excessive AI interaction could change how individuals perceive or engage in real life relationships?
Yeah, I already showed it that, and Alex also described much detail about low social skills, and even you see that I am almost 60 years, and my number of friends are more than my son. My son is 36-year old. So low social skills, because, and probably when you will be like my son, 36 years old and married, you will also have much less friends. So this is really because we are too much dependent on the digital tools, and the the question comes the ethics and also the social system. Really do not like the Malaysian system because I go. One of my habit is going across the world for speaking in different conferences and workshops. There are many countries which really wants to change their social system to be less dependent on digital, so that the cognitive uh, development, social skills development become more important. Um, but probably the ministry here is not taking good decisions about restrictions of use of digital companion. I strongly support those countries who have already banned the use of digital tools for certain age of the adolescents. Because I already told you that sometimes we meet in the weekend and my colleagues maybe in combined lunch and dinner, hours and hours we talk that they they are pain that my colleagues who has got small kids and now in secondary schools, the parents have real tough time about controlling the adolescents to reach to the AI tool. And the more important thing is how many hours. So it is really important that you map the digital interaction hours of your children so that they develop the social skills. Uh, but so far, and that is why we invited one big person last year from UNESCO. He's from China and is presently the um, main person of UNESCO looking after the ethics of AI. So he came only online because he has got very little time, only about 45 minutes. But he criticized a lot about our policies. because he told that, no, we are not taking enough restrictions so that AI tools can be used ethically. Particularly, I told and Alex told very descriptively about the neural deception and neural deception. If you look at Google directly, it will take you to ethics.